institution in the world. And I never knew exactly how they do it, but I knew there has to be a formula out there they do it. I thought it was actually a secret. And all I know is I read Forbes magazine every year and I was like, oh, wow, this person made it. And I know you have people who are really like famous and you already know what they do. You probably can't do what they do, but you're like, but exactly, there have to be someone out there knows something I don't know. And not everyone who's in Forbes magazine is poor. So I was like, someone out there has got to know something. And I had been looking for this information for a little while. Now, when I bumped into Coach Michael and we had an interaction, it didn't take me long to think about things, to undo my life altogether, to think about a situation. I didn't take long. I was like, okay, sign me up. Do you know why? Because I had gone to so many places looking for exactly what he was teaching, and I wasn't getting it. If I was getting it, I was paying expensively for it. It was quite expensive to the point that I wasn't even achieving exactly what I wanted, or I wasn't getting the full education that I wanted. I was getting bits and pieces and still not knowing what to do. So I knew I was on a path, but I was stumbling. Having said that does not mean that I have it right, but I got so excited because at least I have a formula. There's a system in place. Oh my goodness, there's a system in place. That was mind blowing for me. When I tell you I put on my listening ears more than anything else, and I attended every single workshop, and I actually repeat my workshops. I go back again and I send myself in again and I listen just so to know exactly how it works. I wanted to know. I felt so bad for my children. I was like, I can't leave them anything good. I mean, I'm not, I don't know, I'm not Jay-Z, I'm not Beyonce, I'm not, I'm not, I don't know. I don't own Amazon, neither do I own Facebook. I'm not wealthy at all. So I don't have anything to pass on to them. But I want to get the knowledge that I can pass on to my children. And I can tell them candidly that, hey, listen, I did ABCD wrong, but I got this part right. And this is the information you need to go on and take it to a test. At least I knew I was going to pass that on. I didn't even know I was coming on to and stumbling into something bigger that I can actually build, start to build myself and build wealth and build something that I can pass on to my children. That to me was actually mind blowing. If that doesn't do anything for you, you may be comfortable. But the truth of the matter is, this country has a way it gets you comfortable, or it has a way it gets you in. A hamster. Has anybody seen a hamster? A hamster is it's in the rat family or a guinea pig family. And once you have to create like a wheel, a pinning wheel for them, and you have to put food in there. But that is their way, how they, I don't know how they live, how they give off energy. That's how they survive. You have to put a pinwheel so that you can be a hamster in there, and they really run and run and run and run around it. America can be like that too. And you all have to understand, the moment you start to pay one bill becomes 50 bills. It doesn't stop. You have to fight so hard to get rid of one bill, then another one will accumulate too. Meanwhile, time knows no man. It is passing, whether you like it or not. There's something called procrastination that we all do have, and it can be our enemy, and we continue to do it. There's something called advertisement, and there's something called consumerism. We all get adopted into these things. We all just kind of like, everyone has a credit card. Yay! Everyone shops. Yay! And then every single day, there's a new style, there's a new brand. America is all about selling. You can sell anything on this earth. I mean, you can even go grab dirt outside and just put it in a very shiny container and pull it on the shelf, and someone will come and buy it. So consumerism is the order of the day. You can be there in your house and tell me it doesn't work for you, but I'm gonna tell you, we all get that bug. We all get to shop things that don't even make any difference. You all feel like as if you need to change a couch every single year. You all feel like as if your wardrobe is too old. You need to change the shoes. You all feel like, so I'm going to buy another one. You go buy another one. You all feel like as if I need another watch. You go buy another watch, right? You buy stuff. You just keep on buying things every single day. But then when you really sit down and notice and realize every single year, there's a new technology that's coming out. And someone is going to sell it to you, making you feel like your life depends on it. And you're going to buy it. And you're going to consume it. And then your income doesn't get any bigger. But the prices of those things that are really selling to you, they get more and more and more. And then we have children. We want what's best for our children. So we're going to lavish them. Listen, it's really a revolving door just that doesn't end. At some point, something has got to give. And this is the reason I'm here. I'm here to learn how to break that cycle. I'm here to learn why the rich are rich. I'm sorry, Coach Michael. I'm really going into your time, but I'm almost done. Let me not preach to the choir. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please listen to the coach and welcome to this show. I officially give in.
Yeah, whenever you speak, I get worried because of the English you use and the English I use. Nevertheless, the most important thing is to understand what I'm saying. I am an African from Uganda, born and raised in the ghetto.
You're
So
perfect. That's fine.
I welcome everyone to today's session. My name is Michael, just like she said. I am currently in Arizona, but I dwell in Boston. And every Friday, we come here to talk about finances. We talk about finances not because we really want to go into to put our nose into what you make, but because someone was kind enough to talk to us, and we feel we also have to give back to other people, to our friends and family. So whoever has invited you here, it's because they really care for you and they know and wish good for you, and they believe you'll get something after our conversation here. Like I said, I come from the ghetto, and where I come from, money is not a problem. You can live without money as long as you have a life. That's all we care about. But when you come to the United States, of course, everything starts and ends with money, which is not the case in Uganda. In Uganda, I can be moving around and I find a jackfruit tree. I just climb and get that, and that's good for the lunch. It's not the case here in America. I am so glad that Annette mentioned that by the time I talked to her, she was in the process of looking for that information. Most of the time, if you don't get worried about your situation, maybe you're good. But if you feel like there is something that I need to do, but where do I find that something? Who can I talk to? I feel like I need to talk to someone to tell me something that I am not doing good. That's what happened to me. That's how I found this education. I was very stressed in America. Every single moment I felt like I want to go back, I want to go back, I want to go back. Because everything was not adding up. This is not the America that I had come to. I felt like everything is falling apart. I felt like my life was so depressed. So I really wanted either to talk to someone or to go back. And so I would always keep myself looking for how to be successful in America, Googling how to start a business in America, I don't know. I was just looking for something until I get this information. Because just like the Bible says, when you search, you definitely get the information you're looking for. So I want to congratulate everyone who has come to this call today. It's not a waste of time. I believe by the time we end this call, you're going to get in touch with the person who invited you here, and your next question should be, where do I start from? I listened to the same conversation in 2021. I am an artist personally, and all I knew was radio and art, music. I didn't know anything about finances. And just like I normally say, we don't know what we don't know until somebody who knows makes us know what we don't know. Of course, sometimes we think we know, but in actual sense, we don't know what we don't know. So the reason we converge here every Friday is to talk about what we don't know, to make sure we get to know, so we can get to change our lives. This month is a financial literacy month. Just like I said last Friday, every April is a financial literacy month in America. That's with the American calendar. Why? Because people normally get and file for their taxes. The last day for filing is 15th April. So normally when we file for our taxes, many times we get a tax refund or we get child tax credit. And what happens to that money? Most of the people just consume money. In fact, we have some projects that are waiting, or we have some vacations that are waiting. When I get my tax money, I'm going to go I'm going to go to wherever. When I get my tax money, we are always looking at the tax money. And guess what? The same problems continue another year. And then we wait for the tax money. And then we continue with our same problems for a different year. Before you know it, you retire very poor. Not because you didn't, not because you weren't working so hard, not because you wasted money, but because you didn't know what to do. You didn't have priorities. You didn't know what to prioritize. So the reason we set up this call is to make sure we understand where to put our priorities. And we understand how to build a strong financial foundation. Because you cannot build wealth, especially when you're in a country like America, you cannot build wealth until you build a strong financial foundation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this call where all we learn about is building a financial foundation. A financial foundation looks like this. When it comes to wealth, you must plan for it. And most of the time, the reason why we don't actually plan for it is because we don't have knowledge. And when we don't have knowledge, what happens? We are going to do whatever. So you either do what the other people that you found here are doing, or you do whatever you get in your mind. And most of the time, what we are doing is wrong. Why? Because we lack information. So when we come to such calls, when we go to events, when we go to financial conversions, we learn what we need to do with our lives. We learn how do we protect our money? How do we make money? First of all, how do we save money? Why making money? Because most of the time, we are just earning a living. We come to this country and work so hard to earn a living. We rarely work for a fortune. Now, when we come to such conversations, we are going to learn how do we make money. That's number one. Okay, let's say we make money. How do we save money? Because most of the time, what we actually do, we put money aside. We put money aside. We don't know how to save. Now, when you come here, you learn, how do I save money? Then you learn, how do I accumulate money? Because most of the time we do what we call investments, but they are not really investments. Why? Because we don't know the principles of investments. So we just put money aside again. In number 4, we must look at, how do we protect money? If I ask all of us here on this call, how many of us would survive 4 months if you get sick today? If you get sick today for 4 months without working, bedridden, how many of us would survive? Guess what? It's very normal to actually get sick. And to get sick, to get bedridden, you don't have to annoy God. No. Those people that we see that are bedridden or that are in nursing homes or wherever did not actually annoy God. Life happened. Now, the biggest question is, if life happens to you, are you ready? What's your plan? Because no one has talked to you before, that's why the person who invited you here loves you so much that they cared to invite you. That's why I'm also inviting you for our July conversion. Whatever I'm going to talk about, whatever Annette is talking about, it's something that we are just learning. We are also new in this economy. But until you submit yourself to learning, and what do? I subject myself to learning, and that's why I'm inviting you to come to the convention where I learn everything that we talk about. I invite you to come to our convention in Las Vegas in July. Today is the registration. Registration is $299. That's how much I paid. I paid for me and my family because I want them to be there. I want them to attend, because if I get the knowledge, and let's say my wife doesn't, guess what? We are going to be on separate lines. I will be thinking about saving. She will be thinking about spending. I'll be looking at how much will I have 30 years to come. She'll be thinking about the new whatever Louis, how is that bag called? Louis Vuitton? What's the name? Whatever the name is.
It's Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. She'll be thinking about that. I'll be thinking about saving. And then she buys that bag, very expensive. And then in 2 years, she doesn't want it. And even when she went to buy that bag, she had another 5. But because I hear they don't look good on this dress, and now I have to get that color, and now. So we are going to have a fight. So when we come here, we want to talk about all these things. We want to talk about finances. We want to talk about your 20 years to come, your 30 years to come, your 40 years to come. Most of us on this call are immigrants. As an immigrant, you come to this country, at least especially people from my country. We come to this country thinking, I want to go back in 2 years or 3 years. Okay, 5. Before you know it, when you're in 5 years, you have a car that you're paying for a car note. You have an apartment, or you're buying a house. You're thinking of. Before you know it, you have a lot of debts. Before you know it, and then boom, 7 years, 10 years, hey, 20, 30. Remember, you came here to go back in a few years. That's what happens to all of us. Before you know it, you have kids. When you have kids, can you leave them when they are only 10 years? No. You say to yourself, you comfort yourself, okay. When they get to 20, I will go. And then by the time they get to 20, you have a house. And then you're thinking, okay, I need to pay off this house. Maybe because they are just starting with life, they will not be able to pay off the house. Okay, I'll take another 5. And before you know it, you're 60 and you're checking out. So we have to understand how exactly to live a life, how exactly to plan for our retirement. Because retirement is planned today. You don't plan for retirement when you're in retirement. You have to do whatever you can to make sure you have the best retirement you can. But guess what? Most of the time, we don't know what we don't know. And because we don't know what we don't know, we make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes we don't want to listen. Sometimes we listen and we procrastinate. Yeah, they have a good call. Yeah, it's good information. And then the good information just keeps being good. But guess what? One of my favorite writers called Napoleon Hill said, knowledge is they said knowledge is power. But he said, no, they are lying. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. It can only become power when applied. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen, to talk to you about the knowledge and to talk to you about the application of the same knowledge. I was talking to my countrymen yesterday about this great article that I found talking about the statistics in the financial industry and about financial education. I want to go through this article as you're finding where you belong. So these are statistics for the financial knowledge. And I want you to remember that somebody invited you here because they want you to get knowledge and because they want you to take action. This is, you can also look for this article. It's for a magazine called Moneyzine. But they are saying financial literacy is an essential skill enabling individuals to manage their money effectively and make sound financial decisions. However, as the financial literacy statistics below demonstrate, we could all use some more education. Now, sometimes we think we know a lot. Why? Because we went to school, we have degrees, we have masters. But they will not tell you things that we talk about here. And yet they are actually the most important aspects of life. Sometimes we think we've been in America for so many years. I've met so many people telling me, oh, you just came to America a few years ago and you're trying to teach us the American system. I said, yeah. I'm trying to tell you the American system because I went and searched for knowledge and I got licensed by the government to do that. If you feel like I should not educate you, come with me to Las Vegas. It's an open conversion. Again, talking about financial literacy. But look, the percentage of US adults with poor financial literacy increased from 20% in 2017 to 25% in 2023. The Generation Z and Generation Y have the lowest financial literacy rates among US generations at 38 and 45% correct answers, respectively. So this is an article from a research that was conducted about financial education and the impact of financial education amongst the Americans. But as we talk about the Americans at large, I want us to remember, number one, our community, the Black community, the Asian community, your community, basically. What are the statistics? The other time I was reading a different article, and they were showing that 3.5 million of Black Americans are living in a negative net worth, meaning their liabilities are way more than the assets. So there is a gender gap in financial literacy, with 62% of US adult males exhibiting financial literacy compared to 52% of females. Now, this is what I want us to look at. Look at the levels, financial literacy levels. Guess what? Why do you think the financial literacy increased around this time?
That was COVID. Everything froze. People were learning more about, oh, what do I do next? That was it.
During COVID, people now started looking for what to do. Where do I run? I want, oh my God, what is happening? Oh my God. Oh, they talked about insurance. How does it work? Oh, they talked about this. Oh my God, I needed to okay, investment. How are they working? People started panicking. And guess what? When COVID went away, what happened? We went back. Complacence.
Also, people were scammed a lot. During COVID, almost every Gen Z had an idea about Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Almost every Gen Z had one, but they had no idea how Bitcoin works. So they got all their saved monies and they put it in Bitcoin, and boy, did they lose a lot. True story.
So this is what is happening. And once we don't interest ourselves into financial literacy, again, something else will happen, and then we shall panic. It can be a community thing. It can be a national issue. It can be a personal issue. I've talked to so many people who were healthy by the time I talked to them. And then they get sick and then they start panicking. Okay, what were you saying? What do I do? And sometimes it is too late. I don't want it to be too late for you. That's why you're here. Look, what do they know and don't know about finance? At a success rate of 58%, Americans are most knowledgeable about debt and borrowing. What do we know most in finance? Debt and borrowing. At least if you find 10 people, 5 of them will tell you about borrowing and how to borrow and how to... Why? This is America. We are living in the wealthiest country in the whole world. But 58% understand debt and borrowing. Somebody needs to mute. I wonder who that is. So, somebody else. Mrs. K, please, I am muting you.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
I can't.
Now,
I'm so sorry.
that's okay. That's okay. You're good. Now, this is followed by saving at 55% and consuming at 50%. Of course, when we talk about saving, someone will explain to you, yeah, you need to go to the bank, you need to. So they have that simple knowledge. At the end of the spectrum, US adults scored considerably low on questions regarding risk comprehension, answering only 35% of the questions correctly. Just like Annette has just said, so many people were scammed in Bitcoin because they don't understand the risk comprehension. They don't understand. All we know is, oh, I want stocks. Oh, I hear about stocks. I want my money in stocks. And we don't understand. We don't analyze the risks involved. That's why in the research, they say it is considerably low. And this is followed by what? Insurance at 42%. And what? Investment. Most of us here, especially those who come from Africa, we know how to invest in Africa. We don't know how to invest in America. That's why most of the time when we get our money, we work so hard, we get money, we send it. Please do this for me. Please do this for me. Please do this for me. Sometimes we are lucky they do it. But then you have kids in America. You have every relative. In fact, you're trying so hard to bring every relative to America. But again, you're busy putting a lot of investments where you want them to come from. Why? Because we don't know what to do in America. So that's why they say 42% and 44% insurance and investment. So many of us have insurance that we don't have an idea how it works. A lot of us have insurance at our workplaces and we think, oh, I'm all set. My workplace gives me insurance. You don't have any idea how that works because they will not explain it to you. It's not their job. Their job is to make sure you keep at their job. So they will simply tell you, oh, we give you a benefit insurance, which is very good. I'm not bashing the work, insurance at work, but you just have to understand how it works. You just have to understand whether it's enough because it's only 20,000, 30,000, 50,000. But you have a mortgage. What happens in case you pass and they give your family 30,000? Is it enough to pay off your mortgage? You have kids, young kids. Is 50,000 enough for them for how many years? So most of the time it is because we don't know. So many people have insurance that's actually expiring in a few years, but they don't have any idea. And somebody will tell you, oh, I have insurance, I'm good. Yes. But do you know that it is expiring? Why? Because you chose a cheap insurance. All they told you was, oh, this is very cheap. You see, you only have to pay $30 to get $1 million. It's very good. Good insurance if you die within that period. Why? Because you've only paid a few dollars to get 500,000, to get 1,000,000. That's good. But you understand the key element here is understanding. We know we have that insurance, we have the term life, we have the whole life, we have the index universal life, but the key element is for you to understand. Because most of the time somebody will come to you and they will not explain to you. Because you probably don't even want to give them the time to explain. Sometimes they don't know what to explain. All they know is, you see this insurance, you're going to pay $30 to get 1,000,000. When you hear about $30 to get 1,000,000, that's the best deal you can ever sign. Where do I sign? Sign here. Okay, good. And then 20 years later, you don't have insurance. Why? Because you signed for 20 years. Knowledge. And it's not only our problem, it's a general problem. That's why they say insurance 42%, investment 44%. So most of the time we don't know what we don't know, like I said. Look at this graph. Financial literacy begins low in adulthood and improves only marginally with age. And I'll tell you why. In 2023, financial literacy across the US was generally low, notably lowest in Gen Z and Gen Y, with only 38 and 45% correct answers on the PFIN index, respectively. This contrasts slightly better scores in older generations. The Generation X at 50%, the baby boomers at 52%, and the silent generation at 53%. Why? Additionally, a significant portion of younger generation struggled more, with 37% of Gen Z and 30% of Gen Y answering 25% of fewer questions correctly, compared to just 18% of baby boomers. Why? Because baby boomers are trying now to get information. They are trying. I normally do statistics. When I hold these conversations, the biggest number of people are 50 plus. Why? Because they understood that they lost time doing things that they should have done when they are in their 20s. And now my sisters in the Gen Zs and the Gen Y, number one, they think they know a lot. And number two, they think they have a lot of time ahead.
Coach,
But guess
the baby
what?
boomers, the baby boomers are also sandwich people. They are sandwich generation.
They are sandwich generation.
They are bitten between their parents who are growing older, and they have children, so they're in between. And so
Exactly.
and then there's been a change from their childhood up to now.
But look at this. This is the Gen Z in green compared to the silent generation. Now, what these people have been here and, they've seen it all and they wish.
They've seen depressions.
They've seen depressions, they've seen the bubbles, they've seen everything. And they wish there are certain things that they did when they still had time. But those who have time don't have the time now to listen. So that's why knowledge is there, but there is still a long way to go. In families, discussions about money varied by generation, with 73% of millennials, 57% of Gen X, and 55% of Gen Z reporting regular financial conversations, compared to only 41% of baby boomers. Hi, baby boomers. You are you're in a family where you have your husband and everyone managing their own finances, and when it comes to money, don't cross my line.
Truthfully.
And then every one of us is doing their own financial decisions under the table. And they are making a lot of mistakes. Why? Because we don't know what we don't know. So younger generations, especially Gen Z, which is 48%, and millennials, were more likely to discuss finances a few times a week, whereas baby boomers often did so a few times per month. When rent is coming, when it's time to take kids to school,
To pay the bills.
pay the bills. You see now, I put that on the table, and you haven't even seen it. It has been there for a week. That's when we talk about finances. And yet, this is a conversation we must have every day, because every single day we set out our feet to go and work. I want you to look at this. I don't want to look at the agenda, but I want us to look at only 28% of Americans with an income of less than 25% per year are financially literate. Most of the time, financial literacy goes hand in hand with what? The income. And what happens when you don't understand about the financial literacy, when you don't know that you actually have to save money, you're not going to look for ways of having money. You're not going to go out there to look for more money, because as long as my bills are paid, I'm good. Yes, your bills are paid, but you have some other 30 years to come. And after the 30 years, when you retire, you still have another 30 years to live. That's why we work and work and work and work and work, and we don't have money. And then we retire very poor. Why? Because we don't have information. We don't know what to do. And we sometimes, or many times, we are not ready to know. The landscape further complicates when dissecting data across income levels and communities. Research indicates that individuals from lower income backgrounds are less likely to have engaged in financial education, deepening the divide between economic classes. Now, I want you to tell me, in America, which kind of backgrounds are more in lower income?
Well, our African
Two
American
backgrounds.
population, yeah.
The Black and the Latinos.
Immigrants.
I want you to look at the Asians. Very good at finances. Why? They take time to understand it. When you come to Las Vegas in July, I want you to look at the stadium, a full stadium of 35,000 people with so many Asians. Why? They want to learn. They know how to handle money. Even in their DNA, they know how to save money. Just find any Chinese, just find any Japanese, they know how to save money. The Latinos, many of them, of course, know I can live. You see, the government is there, can give us something, and then that also comes to the Black community. Look, specifically, financial literacy rates in the Black community and among women are alarmingly low. Who are the Black community? We, me, you, and you, and you. They're talking about us here. Specifically, even specifically, financial literacy rates in the Black community and among women are alarmingly low, highlighting persistent inequalities. For instance, only 25% of Black Americans report feeling very confident about their financial literacy, starkly lower than their counterparts in the demographics. Now, these figures not only underscore the varying levels of financial literacy across demographics, but also underline the urgent need for comprehensive, tailored education strategies. That's the reason somebody invited you to this call. They invited you to this call to understand that there is something you need to do. Maybe sometimes you've thought about it, that there is something that I'm not doing. Why is it that I'm making money, but I don't see the money? There should be something missing. And that something is the financial education. And I want to invite you to the big convention that's happening in July in Las Vegas. This is where we go and we learn. 35,000 people seated taking notes. And you look at the black people, like 8%. But this is 35,000 people. And guess what? Because we normally say we don't have money. It's $299 to register. Oh my God, I need a hotel. I need to buy a ticket, a plane ticket. That's too much. Yes. It's too much. But how much are you wasting? I gave a challenge yesterday and I want to give it today. I want you to calculate how much you've made ever since you came to this country. Your total. How much have you made ever since you came to this country? If you've been here 20 years and 8.
Yeah.
20 years, right?
20 years.
20 years. On average, how much have you been making a year?
If a lot, 40, but it will be 30,000. Some years I went with just 25. So that's it.
Okay. Okay. Now you are not a normal African, I see. A normal African has 3 jobs. And is making $7,000, 70,000 a year.
Yes.
And when they make 70,000 a year, and they've been here for 20 years, that means they've made 1.4 million ever since they came to this country. Congratulations, you are a millionaire.
But you don't possess that million anymore.
How now? If you've been in America for 20 years, you've been making 70,000, you've actually made 1.4 million. Now, I want you to tell yourself, don't tell me, how much of that do you have?
That's the problem. 0.
How much of 1.4 million? If you've been, okay, let's say you've been here, like me, I've been here 6 years, right? And on average, let's say I've been making 60,000. That is 360,000. How much of that do I have? That's why we talk about financial education. That's why I invite you and I tell you, please take off time, come and listen and take notes and go back and execute what you learn. Because I understand you're too busy. You're trying to make $200, $300, $700, okay, 1,000. But at the end of the day, another year is going to come and you don't know what to do with the money. You don't see it. You don't see the money. Why? Because you were too busy to come and learn. You were too busy to come and learn. I want to invite you. Today, we want to register. I've just registered, I said. A few of us here have registered to be part of that financial education conference happening in July. $299. How much have you spent on your education? I spent a lot of money learning Zwangendaba, Smanya, here, Canadian prairies. I haven't been to Canada. I learned a lot about, I hear Zulu Natal, something. I haven't been to South Africa.
King Louis, Marie Antoinette.
Now, how much do you want to spend learning about finances? Because this is actually the engine of your life. Apart from God, finances. If you don't have finances, you get sick, you're doomed. You don't have finances, your kid goes to college, you're doomed. You don't have finances, you get an emergency, your mother is sick, you're doomed. You don't have finances. So apart from God, finances run our life. Now, how much do we understand managing it? The inclusion of financial education in schools has seen a gradual evolution. Historically, financial literacy was seldom focused in the educational system. That this educational system history is when you were in school. You never got a chance to learn about this. So the lack of financial education at school left people unprepared to handle money in high school. 63% of Americans believe financial education should be taught in school. There is a strong advocacy of personal finance being taught in school, but this is not what I want us to look at. I want us to look at perception and reality. I normally tell people perception or emotion says, I want to be in Uganda today. I wish I was in Uganda because why should I be exposed to snow? Why should I? Emotionally, I want to be in Uganda. But then realistically, I am in America and for some good time. That really hurts me saying it, but it is reality. Because you can't tell me you have a kid of, you have a 4-year-old kid in America and you're planning on going to Uganda. Again, you will spend 2 years and come back. Planning to retire in Uganda is different from planning to live in Uganda. If you plan to retire in Uganda, I am planning that too. Now that we are planning together, what is our preparation? What are we planning? Most of the time we are simply sending money. Oh, buy this plot. Why? Because people in Uganda think you make a lot of money. People in Africa, people in wherever you are, Haiti, think you actually make a lot of money in America. And
But
this
you also don't tell them the truth.
you
Because
don't
you want to
tell
keep
them
up
the truth.
appearance, right? So you keep making them think, yeah, There's money.
Exactly. You keep showing them that you're actually making a lot of money, which in real sense you don't. Well, you do if the standard of living in Haiti was the same as in America. Guess what? If you make $1,000 in America, that's like 3.5 million in Uganda. 1,000 cannot do anything in America for a month. 3.5 million in Uganda, oof. He has a good job. Oh my God, yeah, he went to Makerere, he went to school. He has a good job. He earns what, 3.5 million? But that's only $1,000. Now, I want you to think about this situation. You've lived in a situation where 1,000 is nothing, and you're going to retire in a situation where getting a million is $300 in Uganda. I don't know about 20 years to come or 30 years to come when you retire. Look, perception. Despite varying degrees of confidence from Gen X's relative optimism to Gen Z's cautious self-assessment, the reality shows a nationwide struggle with financial concepts, particularly among younger generations and those with less formal education. Look, self-assessed literacy, 60% of the population believe they are somewhat financially literate. 29% consider themselves very financially literate. Only 10% think they are not financially literate. Everyone thinks they know. And that is the biggest disease. Generation Xers are most confident, rating themselves at 6.3 out of 10. Baby boomers and millennials are close behind, each with an average rating of 6.1. Gen Zs are the least confident with an average rating of 5.4. 8% of men and 11% of women consider themselves financially illiterate. Most of them think they know. We think we know. We think no one needs to tell me about my money. It's my money anyway. I make it. Yes, you do. But you don't know how to manage it. That's why I say you actually are working for a living. You earn a living. You don't plan to live a fortune. What is the reality? Overall financial literacy reality. The average financial literacy rate among US adults is relatively low at 48% correct response rate. Gen Zs exhibit the lowest rates of financial literacy, with 2/3 able to answer only 50% or less. Millennials, which is you, the Gen Y, also show low financial literacy following the Gen Z. Men have a slightly high average correct response rate, which is 53% compared to women. Education impact on financial literacy. Okay, I don't want to, but I want us to look at the confidence versus competence. Certain demographics, especially Gen X and college graduates, exhibit high confidence in their financial literacy, which may not fully align with the actual literacy levels as indicated by nationwide tests. What is the cost of financial literacy? Look, financial literacy in the United States carries a significant cost, not only to individuals, but also to the economy as a whole. Recent studies and surveys have illuminated the tangible impact of lacking financial knowledge, underscoring the urgency for improved financial education across the country. I said these statistics are for the whole country, but whenever I'm talking about the whole country statistics, I want you to narrow it to your community and then to your family and to you. According to a report for the National Financial Educators Council, the lack of financial literacy cost Americans an estimated total of $3.388 billion in just 2023. $388 billion in 2023. Now, I want you to imagine how much did it cost you? I'm talking about paying $299 to go and learn, and then versus how much has it cost you just last year? Not having the knowledge. This staggering figure reflects the cumulative effect of poor financial decisions, including inadequate savings for retirement, excessive borrowing, and the cost associated with late payments and other financial missteps. The figures, your own figures, come from poor financial decisions. How many times have you sent money and then it doesn't really work well? It doesn't really do the job that you wanted it to do. And then you look at, and you're like, I lost that money because of poor financial decisions. Now, how much of such have you lost? Inadequate savings for retirement. Because we live paycheck to paycheck, we don't think about retirement yet. And yet, we are actually supposed to think about retirement today because we are supposed to plan for it, to prepare for retirement today. Otherwise, we are going to be in our 60s, our 70s, and we still have to work. Excessive borrowing. Why? Because you have easy access to everything. You even have easy access to money. That's why, because you have to build, your building is going up in Uganda and now they are stuck. They want, they want money. You easily go to DCU or you go to Chase Bank and get 2,000, or you use your credit card and then you withdraw money and send it. Forgetting the payments, the payments you're going to pay in interest and everything, and other financial missteps. So, costly financial mistakes and personal impact. Reports show that 17 billion annually is lost. $17 billion is lost in overdraft and non-sufficient funds faced by American consumers. How many times has insurance or whichever that you're paying for come to your account and then they find there is no money? And the bank will do what? Will charge you, because how dare you not leave money on this account when you know somebody is coming for it? And now, because you're buying something, the bank will let you buy it, right? You're buying a bag, Vuitton. What was the name?
Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton. You're buying a Louis Vuitton of $300, but you forgot that you actually sent some $50 to somebody. You're actually remaining with 250, but in your mind, you have the 300 on the account. And now you pay. And guess what? The bank allows you to do what? To pay. And boom. It slaps you with what? the insufficient fund fee or the overdraft fee. $30. Because you went into overdraft, now we are charging you $30. Please, next time, be cautious when spending. And then another 2 months, and you really need to buy this, and then boom, you are in overdraft, another $30. 10 overdrafts is $300. Now, how many overdrafts have you done in the last 20 years? That's how we lose money. Financial literacy not only affects individuals, it also extends to your family, the social network, the employers, the communities, and the country. In Massachusetts, every single time there is somebody that we have to do a GoFundMe for. Why? In this era, when we are talking about life insurance every day, why should we do a GoFundMe?
Actually, a GoFundMe for $20,000.
$20,000.
Not
And
even
how much did we say you made in the last 20 years? 1.4 million.
Yeah. And half the time, those people who die with the wealth on their accounts, but they didn't plan, so nobody can access it.
And no one knows.
Yeah, here you are, you lived like a king, but you're dying like a pauper.
How many of us on this account have money in our accounts?
Yeah.
Right? But if you die today,
nobody knows.
Nobody knows where the money is.
And it will go back to the government.
But you do have the money. Yeah. You're working so hard. Probably you have insurance, but you might not want to tell your wife or your husband that, you see me, if I die, you have $1 million.
Yeah.
You might not want to tell them that, but you have $1 million, or you have 500,000, or you have 200,000 somewhere. You have a 401k on a certain account that you don't know about. All you know is that I'm contributing to 401k and it is somewhere. And then you leave that job and you don't really know about the 401k because your problem is not the 401k. In any case, you're not going to access it and you forget about it. And you die and no one knew that you actually worked somewhere and left money in that 401k.
Because you didn't plan, because you didn't teach yourself about your finances. Your money should be able to give you a good send-off. That's all I'm saying.
Why? Because you didn't really prepare. Because you thought we are giving some good education. Yeah, what they are talking about on that call is actually very good. But I'm busy.
And it stays good for years.
It's going to be good education until it's very late. So after this call, I would want you to talk to the person who invited you here. First of all, ask them, how can I go to Las Vegas? I want to learn, because everything that I'm talking about is something that I've just learned from 2021. I was very green. I am a performing artist, for God's sake. I didn't understand anything about finances, but I wanted to learn. And I still want to learn. That's why I'm going to Las Vegas, because I believe even the little knowledge I have is not enough. I want to keep learning because I work so hard for this money. I don't want it to just go to waste simply because I can't pay $300 registration. Or maybe I can't pay $1,000, which is $300 plus $300 plus the ticket plane ticket plus the hotel. So get back to the person who invited you here and ask them, how can I go to Las Vegas? I want to learn. I want to change this life. If you don't hate your life, that's how you're going to live forever. Unfortunately, you now have the energy to work, but after some time, I was a very good soccer player, very good in my 20s.
What happened?
My age, in fact, at around age 13, they wanted me to go play for the national under 13.
Wow, what happened?
I am 35 now. I play for 10 minutes and I am dying. Now imagine I get to 40. Imagine I get to 50. Imagine I get to 60. That is life. And you can't know. If you want to know that you're growing, just look at your kid. Just look at your kid. You will realize, that, hey, now this kid is 15.
I'm grown.
I'm grown. But what is your plan? Do you have any plan? If you have a plan, do you have the plan for your kids? When we are planning for generations, we plan for 3 generations. We plan for the generation before us, we plan for our generation, and then we plan for the generation after us. Why? Because the generation before us can bring the finances to us, and then we pass over the finances to the next generation. And then we teach our children whatever we are doing. The reason we are now struggling is because our parents didn't have any financial education.
And some of them will tell you they stumbled into it. Some of our parents will tell you the truth. They go like, well, we got lucky, but we just didn't know what to do.
Some of them got lucky. Some of them built the financial foundation again with investment.
Yeah.
And guess what? They get sick and then they have to spend all the investments on them. So they die with their investments. They die with their riches. Financial literacy not only as individuals personally, it doesn't only affect you, it extends to your family. It extends to your social network, because your family, your friend will not be challenged. Maybe they are being chased away from the house. You can't just look on when you have some 2,000 seated on your bank. You want to help them. But guess what? You're helping them simply because they didn't know how to save. Now you're giving away your emergency fund to somebody. What if you get an emergency at that point? What happens to you? And now you see how you're going to now go into debt. Why? Because this person did not come here, did not go with you to Las Vegas to learn. Reports show a strong correlation between physical and mental health issues and poor financial health. How can you be physically and mentally normal when you don't have money?
When you're in
your 70s, you still have to look for rent. You still have to get Uber. You still, how can you be physically and mentally normal?
Right. Yeah, let me share a little something with you, Coach, if it's okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many patients that we see on a daily, and they take a medication classification called benzodiazepines. Now, benzos help with anxiety. And the first question, if you get into it, you ask those patients, why are you taking this medication? They'll tell you, I developed anxiety because of the financial situation my family is going through. And this is like 60% to 70% of the patients that we get today. So finances is part of chronic issues like anxiety, insomnia. People don't sleep. They're thinking, they're taking my house. They're thinking, what am I going to do with these children? They're thinking they're going to pull my car. People take medications, and then now we try to treat the symptoms of the medications from taking them. So financial literacy literally saves lives. It's really serious talk.
Because if you don't know what to do, then
You don't know how to keep it.
you don't know. How would
And
you?
they tell you, they will candidly tell you, my family is in trouble. I started taking this medication because I lost my job, or my husband lost his job. And so, you know, we were lacking. We don't know what to do. We don't want to lose our house. We don't know where we're gonna. They will tell you those stories, and you can see. So, you know, if you're smart, you kind of reflect.
So what do we have to do then? Enhance saving strategies. Learn about savings. First of all, the first step was to come here. Thank you for joining the Zoom. And thank that person who invited you here. That was the first step. Step number 2, learn. Come with us to Las Vegas. I just want to look at an audience with some black, at least relatively a good number of black people. But explore investment options, learn about investments. We have workshops every single day talking about this on Zoom. Engage with financial communities. Join financial forums like this one. Local workshops and seminars. Understand credit, how credit works, credit management. Use credit wisely. Understand how insurance works. Understand how to plan for your retirement. Understand how the 401k, 403b work. Understand how estate planning works. It's so bad that so many people die. And these people have money in their accounts, but their people cannot get it because they don't know. So financial education is not an option. Financial education is actually a necessity. And now that you've come here, I want to congratulate you. Every Friday, we are here with the English session. We have workshops which run every single day. You just have to tell the person who invited you here to help you get. Oh, actually, I think the registration is done. I was trying to get you the registration for for Las Vegas. I think it might be done. Or let's see. I think it might be done.
It might be done.
But
there are some folks that got this information from WhatsApp groups, and you cannot scroll back to see who put that information in. I dropped my phone number in the chart. If you've lost whoever dropped it in, it's okay. You can just text me your phone numbers if you want to join us. But please do. Financial literacy or financial education is ongoing. It never stops. It's like health. So you have to learn every single day. Coach, I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention that. Some folks don't know exactly where, but they do get stuff in the chart, but they don't know where they got it from. So I just wanted to throw it out there. I put my phone number in the chart. So you can text me, leave me a message, and let me know if you're interested.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Yeah, registration for Las Vegas has actually closed, but some of us bought a few more tickets. So you just reach out to the person who invited you, and we see if you can get a ticket. But it has closed. It is sold out, and this is that's what I was explaining. This is a conversion that is in July. But now registration has closed because it's sold out. 35,000 people.
Those who know, I guess.
Are they mad? Do you think 35,000 people are mad? No, they want to learn. So some of our folks, some of our teammates bought more tickets. Just reach out to the person who invited you here so you can have a ticket for Las Vegas if they still have them. I want to get some reactions from what we've talked about. I want Alhaji Dangote. Thank you for coming. Then David Masembe.
Oh, by the way, Haji Dangote said it's all about trustworthy. You're with your partner. I tell you what, Mr. Dangote, if you have a relationship where you are trustworthy with your partner, thank your creator. Not everyone has that opportunity to have that, but they still have to live with those people. They still have to make a living, and eventually they get sick and eventually they die. But not everyone dies that way. So they plan better so that even if they didn't trust their partners, they can have a good send off and they can leave behind wealth they want to leave to whoever they do. It's called planning. It's called learning something about your finances and what it can do for you. So we have more of that. So please join us and you will learn more. Sorry, coach, I just had to chip in.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Alhaji.
Hello, sir, and all my fellow members. I'm great that this is my first time to attend this kind of learning, and it has really opened up my mind to another new world of saving money. You have introduced me to many corners of how we need to manage finance and do it with the way how our life goes until we can be sent off and we leave our young ones or the next generation pushing the same kind of habit for us to grow and to let them grow. Thank you so much. I will go and see my friend who sent me this link because she sent me this link a couple of minutes ago and I was like, let me join and see what is happening here.
Good
But
job.
I'm really thankful to you guys. Thank you so much. I will go back to her and see that
Who
if she
invited you?
can get me a ticket. She's called
Who
Zamzam.
invited you? Do you
Zamzam.
know Zamzam?
Yes,
Zamzam?
please. Yeah.
Is she in Seattle?
Yeah, she's in Seattle. And I'm also in Seattle.
Okay, so wonderful. Okay, reach out to her and see. I think we can get a ticket for you. That's if
Okay,
they
please.
are, because as I'm speaking, of course, because registration has closed, many people are now looking for the tickets.
I understand.
Yes, but
Okay.
I'm going to have somebody help you with that. What
Okay.
Zam, yeah, Zam will reach out to us and
Okay.
she will help you get that ticket if we
Thank
still
you.
have.
Okay, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
for being here.
Yeah,
Next
you're
time, please come back again next Friday and invite all your friends and your family.
definitely I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. David Masembe.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I am good.
Yep.
Yes. Any comments about what we talked about?
Oh yeah, I appreciate the information shared in this meeting. I just got the link from one of the WhatsApp groups I am in, and that's how I ended up coming for this meeting. But I appreciate the information shared, and yeah, please keep it up. I got some questions, but I think I'll need to contact the number that has been shared by Annette, right? Yes,
Yeah.
that has been shared by Annette, because I got some questions that I need probably to ask,
Sure.
yeah, and get cleared about. But yeah, otherwise the session has been good, and yeah, we appreciate the knowledge and the time you've taken to share with us, especially us, the Ugandans from Kampala.
I get it.
Mm.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for being here. Please invite others next time, but we'll talk more.
All right,
Absolutely.
thank you. Sure.
Okay, so can you share your number with
Your
Annette too?
number with, yeah, you can put it. I have my number in
Text
the
her
chat there.
or anything.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna send her a text message,
Okay.
so that we can chat afterwards, because I got some questions to ask, and they're kind of extensive, and maybe when we talk about them and you think there's something that people can learn about the next session you have, or throw more light from the discussion we shall have,
Mhm.
probably you can include it in the next week's discussion.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much.
welcome.
Mary Kadu.
Mebo.
Mebo Kadu, sorry.
Ochala Kadujoli. Oh, she's there. Hello.
Yes, how are you, Nyawo?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you, Mchala Member?
Nice. I'm home.
Where?
Yeah, which state are you in?
I'm in Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, wonderful. Who invited you?
I've known that gentleman for some time,
Okay.
though I've been on and off.
Now,
So,
which gentleman are you talking about?
Mami Kaparaga.
Oh, Kapalaga. Oh, okay. Coach. All right. Cool.
But just because most of these sessions have been held in the times when I'm not at home, when I'm at work, but I just send my schedule, and so today I happen to be around. And so when he sent the link, I was like, okay, today I'm gonna listen because I'm at home. So yeah.
That's good. Thank you for
Comments.
being here.
Welcome.
Please invite
Okay.
others next time. We're here every Friday.
Okay.
Looking forward to seeing.
Rukia, who has an iPhone. Rukia?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Nyawo.
Thanks for the program that I joined late, but I'm still learning and I'm following. I hope next Friday I'll join early, but yesterday I was on the link as well. Yeah.
Okay.
What I've just realized the few months that I've been here, I've realized that especially we women, we overspend unnecessarily. We overspend. You just look at your colleague and then say, wow, what is this?
I need to get that, right?
Then you can't commit because you're not the owner, but you feel that it's not good. We have to be with that manners. We have to learn manners of not overspending.
I think you have to be real with your situation too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get caught up in unrealness. No one is going to actually look at your pocketbook and say, oh, it's old. No one cares. No one is going to realize you had the same jacket. Nobody cares, but we just
But
so
we have to,
subconscious. We think
But
we
we have
need
to look we have to look at our backgrounds, where we came from.
exactly. It's really
Yeah,
that
we have to look at our background. We have to know that even people that we left home are all, their eyes are on us. What have we invested for ourselves?
real talk.
I just appreciate this session. Hope to learn more, inshallah.
Please do
Thank
come
you.
back, inshallah. Next Friday, we're here. Invite everyone. Invite your neighbor,
Yeah.
everyone.
I've tried to share.
All right.
Good
And
job.
my phone is in the link. I don't know if you are connected to Coach,
I'm
but
connected to Coach.
okay.
He's the one who sent me the link, but I was connected by Mr. Ansereko at first in the Uganda.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have a comment.
Yes.
I think my biggest comment and my own not worries but concerns as a person when I've started following up on some of these teachings, brilliant teachings, of course. I think initially what I learned from it in summary was like, okay, the training is basically more about protecting your future, right? And protecting your family when you're gone. I think that's the most important thing that's stuck in my brain, that, okay, if I have to work so hard, save all this much, and then because I'm in the effort to make sure that I save money for the people who come in after I leave, it kind of weakened me because I was
Why?
like, okay, I was kind of challenged on that. I'm like, okay, why am I working so hard?
For
And
others.
I'm not for others. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gone. Some of them may not even understand the value of the things I'm leaving behind, how much I worked tirelessly. I'm not giving anything for myself. I'm not going for any vacation. I'm not doing nothing for myself, but I'm working so hard, paying all this much insurance because I'm protecting
Oh,
my future when I'm gone. And I've seen these things happening. I think those are some of the questions when I shared with some colleagues here. And they're like,
I
girl,
think
if I've paid money for my kids' school fees in future, I don't need to do nothing because what I'm after is myself because I work so hard. Some of them don't want to listen when you
so.
save for the future. And I'm like, but apart from that, me as a person, I think there are some other important things I'm learning from the insurance, not basically looking at saving for the future, but
I think it's
interpreting some of the
I think
documents.
it's more of your mindset. I
Yeah.
think it's what you're focused on and what you think you are understanding. But you have
Yeah.
to look at financial education holistically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a full circle. So for
Yeah.
you are thinking about this one thing and you're focusing on it, and then you're emotionally really putting your emotions into it. So you have to associate yourself with whatever you do begins with you though.
Yeah.
So if maybe Coach can give you a different explanation, I'm not so sure. But from what I'm hearing, from what you're saying, you're like, oh, now you're taking yourself out of the equation and you're saying I'm doing everything for the people who are coming after
No,
me.
I think
It is
she's
part
saying
of it.
that's what she thought at first.
Oh, that's what you thought at
Yes.
first. No, you have to inject yourself into the story.
Now she's learning more.
Oh,
Is that
Yeah.
right?
I just want to learn other things apart from that being
Yeah.
the topic,
There's
saving for the
more.
future.
It's all
I'm
round.
like, okay, if I retire, maybe I
Yeah.
want to retire at 60. Apart from
Mm.
looking at my 401k, my
Right.
social
Exactly.
security, and all these little monies I'm getting, how have I protected myself for the future? Because
Exactly.
it is me. And that's for my kids. I'm thinking if I've saved enough for their education in school, I'm living in this house, I've paid it off. I've left a few things maybe in Uganda because, we are foreigners. So how best can you retire
Here's the thing with your
you're not
children, right?
traveling? Yeah, because
It depends on the education you give your children, though.
Yes, because I've seen here, we are going here taking care of these people. These people have learned to, establish themselves. He's old, you're not asking for money to take care of them. They have
Exactly.
caregivers to take care of them. They already educated, their kids are in school. Maybe some are even working, they even bought houses. And that's why when they die, their kids come back and sell the old house they were living in, the parents were living in. So And I think this needs to be knowledge has to be shared to us, especially who are foreigners. We work so hard because we are dealing with two families.
Right.
You deal with a
So,
family
yeah.
here, and then you're dealing with another family in Uganda. It's not that you're not
Whatever.
getting the money, but the knowledge, we need to know how can we strike a balance between the two. And how am I
Exactly.
the future? At the same time, I'm not gonna struggle when I've stopped working. I'm not
Right.
only looking at when I'm gone and people, oh, she saved this much, she bought this 1 million insurance, so we have all these riches, but I've died poorly. I've worked
So
hard, I've not enjoyed life. So people don't want to hear that. Neither do I want to hear that. So I'm like, I want to hang in here because sometimes I get those documents from insurances and I don't understand. The banks where we are saving money, okay, because we save money in banks, sometimes we save, or we get loans from banks. Sometimes they send us statements, so they are selling us these little, they're telling us to open up our kids' accounts. So we don't know knowledge about the importance of doing that. So
So just put it this way, it doesn't matter what school you take your child to, you have to accompany them with a financial education as well. I don't care if they go to Harvard, they have to go into a class called financial literacy.
Yeah,
Madam Rocky, I'm sorry to interrupt. Allow me to share. My name is Linda. I'm part of this financial education platform. And so by the time you're having those questions for yourself, that means your ear is opening and your mindset is beginning to mature. It is good that you're thinking about saving for your generation, because we know in reality, even us, we wish that our grandparents or our parents left us something. But remember that everything that you do in this life, it does not only go to the people that you're doing it for, but sometimes it comes back and repercutes on you. So while you're planning for them, the truth is that you're going to learn how to save for your retirement as well, so you can enjoy it the way you can. So while you're doing these little steps, in the long run, you're going to find yourself also saving for your happy retirement that you need. That's why we always encourage people to come sit with us one-on-one so that we can go deep, so that we can answer those personal questions. But if you only come to this platform, we are educating a broader population. So set that appointment, meet with us one-on-one. You can meet with anybody. You can meet with Coach, you can meet with me, you can meet with Annette. There are also other people on here. We can touch with you one-on-one and answer all those questions that you have for yourself.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Zila. Oh, that's my SMD.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda, and thank you, Annette, and thank you, Mabel. I'm glad now from what you are submitting. I get an understanding that at first you thought, oh, Aparaga ngamba bya insurance. And now you're starting to understand that actually it's more than insurance. It's more than just leaving a legacy, which is also very important, but it's more about you. In case you get sick, what happens? Just like you mentioned about those people that we work for, they have money, they are living a good life. For somebody is sick and they live for some 10 years. No one can save that amount of money. It's insurance. But you just have to understand how to use that insurance, and you just have to get that explanations. Of course, like I said, we have workshops. The purpose of this show is to do that. But the one-on-one always, of course, will always answer you more questions. That's just like Linda said. But thank you. Dr. Kenneth.
Woohoo.
Dr. Kenneth.
Not available.
Okay. Ruth, I understand you came in late. Ruth.
Hi, Ruth.
I said I'm at work. I can't talk.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you
Okay.
for
Who
being here.
invited you though?
I saw a link.
Okay, where
Okay.
did you see it? Did you see it in WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If you can go back to the person who left that link for you, that'd be great. Other than that, I have my phone in the chat. You can reach out to me if you want to learn more.
So you
I
get
think it's
to
from.
now
I think
that
it's
you've come
from.
in late.
I think it's from Mr. Kapalaga.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have my number?
Yeah.
Okay, can you send me a text so I the next time I send you direct? Just send me a text to my number.
But that's where you sent the text to me though.
Oh, which route is this?
Buta.
Oh, okay. Thank you for coming, Charles. Okay.
Okay.
Dr.
Esther.
Kenneth, sorry, can't talk. Okay.
Esther Mosley.
Mr. Motley. Hello.
Esther, are you there? Okay, George. George. iPhone. iPhone, are you there?
Not
All
present.
right. Thank you everyone for being here, and every Friday we are here for the English session, and Thursday we have the Luganda session. Same time. I definitely feel bad that registration for Las Vegas has closed, but we definitely can get you a ticket. Like I understand Alhaji Dangote wants one. I'm going to make sure he gets one because you want to go to where the source of the knowledge. This is just split particles, but you want to go to the source of the knowledge. You spend 2 days learning about how to manage your finances, and then you come back and you do exactly what you learned about. So thank you very much. Any closing points?
All right. Any closing points? Some getaways. Thank you for being here. I have just a few getaways. I swear, if you're not tickled today, if you don't ask yourself a few things after being in this meeting, then you must be really numb, or you must be comfortable, or you must know you're too deep into it, you can't get out, right? But these numbers don't lie. I love numbers. Sometimes you have to look at those statistics and they blow your mind. Did you know that from last year to this year, because of inflation, you've lost about $2,000 generally in your income somewhere? So if that doesn't, I don't know, do something to your mind, go home and sleep on it and think about it, but you're losing money. If you want to learn more, we're here every single day of the week apart from Wednesday. Everything from your insurance to estate planning to making a will to, I don't know, saving money for college for your children. Everything is in here. Please reach out to us, learn more about your finances, save your family, and live happy. 2, don't judge where the information is coming from. That is narrowing your mind. Judge the information. I don't care if coach has been here 2 years, 1 year. I knew what he was talking about, and I've been looking for that. I wasn't looking for it from people who've been here for 40 years. I knew that's what I wanted to hear. So don't judge the source of the information, but look at the information itself. I think that is when you broaden your mind. Look at the information itself. You can question the information all day, but don't judge where the information is coming from, because we are all vessels of information. And like you said, knowledge is power, but it's potentially powerful until you put good use to it. So also, one last final one, stop looking for instant gratification. We are not kids anymore. We don't see candy and we go jumping. These things you have to step back and really dissociate yourself from your emotions and think realistically where you are. I don't care if you earn $100 every hour. I don't care if you earn 15. When it comes to your finances, you cannot look for instant gratification. You cannot procrastinate a few things. You can't tell me a person who will be more than happy to dish out $400 on a bottle of wine just so he can get fist bumps from his friends has a problem with coming to, I don't know, a summit for $20. That does not make any sense in my head. It just blows my mind how people really prioritize things that don't make sense. And people don't even remember you after buying that $400 bottle anyway. So don't buy a Louis Vuitton for $1,000 when you really do know that your children don't have any money for college.
What's the word again?
Louis Vuitton.
Thank you. Dr. Kenneth, please get back to the person who invited you, because we didn't get a chance to talk to you. If you got a number from a WhatsApp group, please get back to the WhatsApp group and to that same number that's shared. And see
Thank
you
you so much, Coach.
next time.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you for being here.